Season 3. My name is Ira Pablo at meron tayong dalawang mga kasamang malupit na sports analyst. Ipapakilala ko na sa inyo. Kasama natin ngayong gabi si Martin Antonio and syempre si Dino Lee. Good evening, guys.
Living, Ira. Gusto ko yung mga SPNation kids natin.
Mga ka-SP.
Mga ka-SP natin. Gusto ko yung colorway ni Ira ngayon. Kasi ganyan yung uniform ng dad niya. Yung mamaya maganda yung discussion. Shell, pasok green na green. Tsaka FU.
At Mobiline, yellow at green.
Oh, yeah, pwede.
Kung saan na napunta yung usapan.
Okay.
Ready na sila. So if you guys are ready, then let's dive into the world of live sports like never before with Sports Plus PH. So whether you guys are a diehard fan or you just simply love the thrill of the game, we've got you guys covered. So don't forget to register at Sports Plus PH. So dito sa SPNation, puro kwentuhang basketball tayo. So meron tayong tatlong topics na pag-uusapan ngayong gabi. Unang-una dyan, is this the best Cavs team? Okay, pag-usapan natin yung Cavs team ngayon, kung ito na ba talaga yung pinakamalupit na team. Next is Anthony Edwards, the next phase of the NBA. At ito naman, punta tayo sa usapang PBA. Bong Hawkins, dapat bang isama sa PBA 50 greatest of all time? And syempre, hindi mawawala yung ating SPN expert picks at malalaman na natin yung tally ng February kung sino ba talaga yung mga magagaling mag-predict ng mga posibleng mananalo ang mga results sa ating NBA games. Ayan. Simulan na natin. Our first topic. Is this the best Cavs team? So, it all started with the Big Number podcast. Sinabi nila na mas magaling daw yung current Cavs team ngayon, even compared to the 2016 lineup where LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love led that team into that, historic championship run. Pag-usapan natin, what are your thoughts about this one? Let's compare the Cavs team today compared to the teams before.
Sa akin, hindi pa sila nananalo ng championship.
That's
so to me, the best Cavs team is still the 2016 team because yun lang yung kaisa-isang championship na napanalunan ng Cleveland Cavaliers in the history of their franchise. And the way they won that championship is tinalo nila yung historic team na 73-9 Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
They were down 3-1 nung series na yon, and then they came all the way back to win ng championship. So to me, it would depend on how they would perform until the end of the season.
Yeah.
How they would... Kasi malamang sure na sila papasok na ng playoffs yan, given their record na 50-10. Pero tingnan natin how they would perform. Kasi baka hindi nga sila umabot ng finals eh. Di ba? So to me, right now, I would probably put them top 10. Probably nasa number 6. Pero if I were to rank right now, the 2016 team is my number 1. My number 2 is the 2018 team. They lost in the NBA Finals against GSW na may Kevin Durant na wala ng Kyrie Irving. That was the first season na walang Kyrie Irving. Number 3 ko yung 2017 na may Kyrie Irving pa yon. Pero that was the first year ni Kevin Durant. Lost in the NBA Finals 4-1. Number 4 ko yung 2007 na binuhat ni LeBron yung team na yun na hindi mo naman masyadong kilala kung sino yung mga players na yun. And they lost to the San Antonio Spurs na sunip sila ng San Antonio. And then yung number 5 ko is the 2015 team who went up and lost wherein nakuha ng Golden State Warriors yung first championship. So I do believe that that's the top 5 ng kasi all of those teams went to the NBA Finals. Cleveland still has to prove themselves when it comes to the playoffs. And even if they win this one, which is a big if pa, kasi may Boston Celtics tayo na I see them going to the NBA Finals. Kahit manalo sila, I'll only put them second sa Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 1 ko pa rin yung 2016.
Pero yung sinasabi nila dito, yung biggest strength nila is they are a collective effort team. Hindi sila parang 1 to 2 players na team that makes them, does that make them a championship contender or a championship pretender?
Well, for the most part, tama. I agree with Dino. Na unless you win the big one, you would not be considered as the best team. Numbers never lie, but you could always skew it to your advantage. Yan po yung totoo. Pwede niyong ipinta ang kahit na anong gusto niyong ipakita. Pag merong numero, isa-skew nyo para sundan yung idea nyo. Yun naman ang mga ginagawa ng mga analyst. But you have to look at it with the details. Sabi nga, the devil is in the details. Okay, number one point differential, net difference, advanced stats. They're top 3 when it comes to defense. They are number 2 when it comes to scoring. They're more efficient. But nakita ko na tong team na to eh. This team will have a hard time against the 89-90 Cavs with Brad Doherty, who plays the same way as Evan Mobley, who had Mark Price that can defend Darius Garland, and had Hollywood Ron Harper on his most athletic when he was playing with the Cleveland Cavs. This is going retro dahil mahilig ako dun sa mga 90s teams. They play very physical, and natapat yun dun sa mga Michael Jordan squads. Yung may Craig Elo, I remember the shot ni Michael Jordan. Yung squads na yun na bagets yung Cavs. They were up and coming, and it was the Bulls, it was the Pistons, it was the latter legs of the Boston Celtics. Malakas yung team na yun. It reminds me of this team that consolidated effort, lahat sila dumidepensa, maganda yung outside shooting, they play up tempo, and they are the darling of the crowd ngayon kasi mas naging veterano na sila. Last year, they were a top 4 squad. Again, improvement with the coaches. They shuffled their coaches. Mas bagay din sa sistema. The numbers would show that they're an improved team, that they're a contender. But again, if it's a 7-game series and you have to put adjustments and you're going to get clamped down, and Kristaps Porzingis is healthy, Al Horford is healthy, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, those
Derek
guys.
White.
Derek
Drew
White, of course,
Holiday.
Drew Holiday, and my boy, Peyton Pritchard. So, if those guys are healthy, it would be tough for them to go past the East. You can beat them once or twice, but in a 4-game series, with the way that they're playing, it would be very hard for any squad in the East. And again, papaalala natin, hindi pa nila tapat yung healthy na Milwaukee Bucks. So, Milwaukee looks like a contender if they're healthy.
Doc
Again,
Rivers.
I don't know if they're healthy. We remove the equation of the coach, but again, we can say that it's a very successful squad. Unless that they go over the hump of Boston, it remains to be seen if they are the best. Again, analysts would be, gagamit din ng mga glittering generalities at saka na kung ano.
Baka LeBron, tingin ko LeBron hater tong mga to.
At saka, Brad, 3 Hall of Famer yun. Isang borderline, 2 Super Bowl. May LeBron, may Kyrie ka, tapos may Kevin Love ka, na borderline.
And one of the greatest shooters, 3-point shooters, Kyle Korver.
Nandun
Kyle Korver,
eh.
ganun.
Nandun ron. And it was a top 3 player of all time willing themselves. Yung narrative pa lang, tagilid na agad tong Cavs na to. Kasi down 3-1, you went home to bring home the trophy and you delivered. I mean, sa kwentuhan pa lang ng mga tambay,
championship.
tagilid na sila. Yung mga tambay pa lang sa labas, sasabihin mo, ito yung pinakamalakas. Di pa sila nagcha-champion eh. So yun yung for the common man, mag-champion ka muna. Lahat pwede mong gawin yung mga numero, pero pag di ka nanalo, hindi ka magaling.
Tsaka, yung basehan kasi nila na medyo pantay-pantay yung 3 top players ng Cavs na sa stats. Pero yung dun sa team na yun, oo, alam natin yung 3 na yun, yung 3-headed monster was LeBron, si Kyrie, tapos si Kevin Love. Pero nag-contribute din yung Tristan Thompson, Kyle Korver.
Role players.
Role players. J.R. Smith, di ba? Parang sa akin. Tsaka, this is not the first time we've seen a number 1 team na, di ba, marami tayong nakitang number 1 team. Yung Toronto Raptors, number 1 seed sila, nilaglag sila ni LeBron. Yung Dallas Mavericks ni Dirk Nowitzki, nilaglag din sila ng number 8 na Golden State Warriors. Di ba? Yung may Baron Davis. Di ba? May Stephen Jackson.
Si Dikembe Mutombo. Nilaglag nila yung Seattle Supersonics.
Di ba?
Si Prod Guy na lang
parang sa
nakakaalala
akin, until we see what happens until the end of the season. Tsaka na natin pag-usapan to kasi hindi pa nga sila nakakaabot ng finals.
No,
kino-compare
even if
nila
you
eh.
say
Parang
that they
primo pa
won
siya.
the championship, you couldn't say na they're also gonna win it in the same fashion that the 2016
Oo,
team
iba yung
won it.
2016.
Yung
Iba yung
storybook
2016.
ending lang
Diba?
of that
Parang
year.
mangyayari ba ulit yun? Like, do you see this team doing that same kind of
Let's-
championship that
Saka,
LeBron delivered?
Pag tinanong nyo doon sa mga bagets, Ira, tsaka Dino, anong team yung gagamitin ninyo sa 2K?
Oo.
Di ba? Yun na lang eh, kasi ganun yung recall ng mga bata. Ito yung tabalo sa 73 and 9 eh. Ito yung pinakamaganda yung point differential. Siguro sa atin mga mahilig sa numbers, kung pwede. Pero yung cultural relevance and foothold dun sa narrative ng season, yun yung magsasabi mo, ito yung greatest team of all time.
That's right. Too early to tell, and it's too hard to top the 2016.
Medyo nakikita ko dito sa team na to yung parang Utah Jazz that was the number 1 seed and then I think nilaglag din sila ng
Houston.
lower seed. Nilaglag din sila eh. Which is yung team na yon, may Donovan Mitchell, which is the common denominator. At the same time, they had Rudy Gobert.
Bagong Utah na pala yung sinasabi niya, hindi pala yung Utah nila kayo.
Hindi, dati. Yung may Mike Conley. Di ba? Number 1 seed eh. So, well, at least yung kay Karl Malone, umabot ng finals. Ito, wait and see pa tayo kung aabot to ng finals. Kasi they have to go up against Boston Celtics. Tapos kung pumutok yung New York Knicks on the playoffs, we don't know. Pero doubtful din ako kasi si Tom Thibodeau kasi na-injured yung mga nauubos yung players.
42 minutes, first game of the season eh. Di nagpapalit ng rotation.
Doon ako nagdududa eh.
Brad, di pwede maglaro mga Pilipino sa New York. Kita mo yung PT na Pilipino umuwi. Mamamatay yung mga player pagka ganun kahaba yung...
Pero yan, I see them getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, but that their season would end there sa care of the Boston Celtics.
Tama. So safe to say, it's kind of hard to rewrite the history that the 2016 Cavs team already made. And speaking of history, are we ready to rewrite the history with Anthony Edwards being the next face of the NBA? That is our next topic. So it actually started with LeBron recognizing that he feels kind of weird. Tama ba yung pagkakaintindi ko? He feels weird. There's a weird energy when it comes to talking about Anthony Edwards being the next face of the NBA. Because aside from Anthony Edwards, there's also Wemby next in line in being the face of the NBA. LeBron has been the face of the NBA for 2 decades already. So there's a topic going on about people feeling very nostalgic about the NBA, and it's actually killing the NBA because we're still talking about Michael Jordan, we're talking about Kobe Bryant, we're talking about LeBron James, that we're not putting much attention to the new faces already.
As the great Ric Flair said, if you want to be the man, you have to beat the man. You're talking about Michael Jordan. You're talking about Kobe Bryant. You're talking about LeBron James. What's the greatest common denominator and factor among those three? Winners. Big-time winners. They can throw out all the names. Sabi nila si Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Wembanyama. Ngayon, yung mga bagets, ito, lagi ako nagugulat ako. LaMelo Ball and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Yan yung mga pangalan. Anthony Edwards. Hanggat hindi pa rin kayo nagcha-champion, hindi kayo magiging mukha ng NBA. At si LeBron, as of today, I think they're number 2 seed, di ba? Number 2 sila in the West.
Let's go!
So, if you want to be the man, you have to beat the man. And I saw this graphic that his numbers right now are more efficient than his MVP year. I was listening to one of the podcasts. I think it was the Ringer NBA podcast. Na ito, mga LeBron haters sila, pero they are
Acknowledging
the efficiency of LeBron James, and with the addition of Luka Doncic, he is now not a ball-dominant player. He can maximize what he has, and hindi ganun kalaki yung workload niya. So, unless igagarahin niyo si LeBron James convincingly with anybody, kasi lahat ng binanggit natin may injury history. Di ba? Even Anthony Edwards if yung yung start of his career. But if you're talking about a a guy that would exemplify the Western way of playing. Isolation, highlights, marketability, and the way that he released his shoe. I mean, box office si Anthony Edwards, but the overall effect, that's why there is nostalgia in winning. Remember, if you're winning, you would be remembered in eternity. Biggest winners. Kaya sila yung may, again, it's the narrative. If you're not winning, you can't be the face.
Pero itong si Ant, sabi niya, he can be the next face of the NBA, but he doesn't want it. So, pero yun nga, going back to what you said, you can't be the next face of the NBA if you haven't beaten the current faces of the NBA.
Dami na nating nakita mga ganyan eh. Mga malalakas mag-trash talk, ang gagaling flumix. Kahit sa ang liga, kahit sa interbarangay, may mga ganyan. Pero pag di nagcha-champion, limot ka na rin.
That's right. Your thoughts?
Well, this is strategy to ng media to cook something up. Kasi alam naman natin, di na bata si LeBron.
Saka magtatapat to sa playoffs eh.
Si LeBron is already 40, Steph is already 36, KD is 36. So, I see them, siguro, by the time we get to 2030, mukhang wala na tong tatlo, di ba? I'm assuming, unless naglalaro pa si LeBron at 45, di ba? Which
Hindi malayo. Ako hindi malayo.
by 2030.
Hindi malayo.
Si Steph tsaka si KD, do you see them?
I think with sports medicine
Kaya
right
pa?
now, it can be sustainable.
Tsaka shooters.
And the way that they invested. LeBron is para sa mga bata, kahit na anong panood nyo dun sa first 5 na mga videos, si LeBron is a genetic anomaly. You can't be that big, you can't be that fast, you can't be that strong, and that's sustainable for a prolonged period of time. Kahit na anong training nyo, yun regalo ng Diyos. Yun yung katotohanan nun. We have a finite number of playing years. Yung mga ganon, yung umaabot ng mga 20 years and performing at the same level, it's gift and they're harnessing the gift. That's with LeBron. Pero kay Steph at kay KD, the way that they're playing their game and the way that Steph is taking care of his body, si Steph masusustain kasi shooters will shoot. And KD, he is another alien. Oh my goodness.
So yun nga just to add to what Coach Hammer said, this is a way of the media of trying to cook up. Kasi I think we have this conversation because in a moment, we will take a look back at history. I'll take a look at history. No one has taken, kumbaga, the crown or kumbaga yung title of the next phase of the NBA. If we will recall, back in the 90s, si Michael Jordan, kinuha niya yun from Magic Johnson and Bird and Magic. Diba? Dineclare niya dun sa 1992 Dream Team na documentary. Na there's a new sheriff in town. And they acknowledged it, right? Hindi binigay sa kanya ng media yun. He took it by winning championships and he took it from the 80s phases of the NBA, which is si Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And they earned it as well during the 80s. They won championships. Naghatian yung Lakers, naghatian yung Boston during the 80s. And the 90s, it was Jordan. Then the year 2000 onwards, that was Kobe. And then 2010 onwards, that was LeBron. Then we have Steph. So to me, hindi siya pwedeng we cannot decide it for the players.
The players
have to take it from LeBron, Steph, and KD to be the next face of the NBA. And ang criteria right now, kasi ako, parang ang criteria ko dyan, if to be the next face of the NBA, you have to be superstar. You have to play superstar level basketball. Play both ends, di ba? Number 2, nabanggit na ni Coach Hammer, winning. Kasi kahit anong ganda ng stats mo, pero hindi ka naman nagcha-champion, you cannot be considered as the next face of the NBA. Number 3, you have to be box office. That means, superstar level basketball ka. All-star level basketball. You're winning also. Pero if people don't want to watch you, for me, di ba? NBA is a business. It's a professional league that's a business. And they continuously want to grow. Gusto nila lumaki. So, for you to be a face of the next face of the NBA, kailangan mo maging box office. Now, if we will take a look at ang basis ko ngayon sa box office, Because we all know who the superstar level basketball players are. We all know who...
Sino ang pinapanood ng karamihan ng mga, kahit Pilipino na lang?
Steph Lebron pa rin eh.
After those three. After Steph, LeBron, and KD.
Wemby?
Isa pa.
Wemby?
Isa pa.
Luka.
Luka Doncic. Kaya galit na galit ang mga Dallas fans. Kasi everybody believes, if you're looking at those 3 pointers, di ba?
Sa akin next in line, Wemby, Anthony Edwards, saka Luka.
I agree.
If we will base it on jersey sales, 1 and 2 mo Steph Lebron eh. Number 13 nga si Kevin Durant eh. Ang Wemby mo, number 5. Ang Anthony Edwards, number 6. Luka mo, 8. 7 si Ja. 3 si Jason Tatum. Number 4 si Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
So, but to me, Wemby, Edwards, and Luka Doncic has the potential to be the next face of the NBA. I'm not saying they're the next face, but
Might be.
based on the criteria that I have, superstar level basketball, winning, box office, yan, Wemby, Edwards, Luka
Kaya
Doncic.
bad trip ang mga taga
Kaya
Dallas.
nga, kalokohan talaga, ba't
Kasi at saka number 1 pa dyan, walang jersey deal ang Dallas. Yung rights nila.
Jordan.
Ang deal. Yung deal nila, ginawa ni Mark Cuban na lahat ng mga sales nila, diretso sa kumpanya. So, yun yung kinababad trip ng mga taga Dallas. More importantly, may resibo na eh. Nakapasok na ng finals, na buo na yung team eh. Tapos, siya yung pinapanood, siya yung skilled, siya yung may hatak, he has $1 million smile.
And now he's playing in...
And now, he is the heir apparent of the king. So, yun yung medyo na bad trip
Which
ng Dallas.
might prolong the career of
Exactly.
LeBron James because he has now someone that is 25 years old who is a 5-time All-NBA first team that can allow him to
Take a
reduce his
backseat.
workload.
Yun talaga.
Exactly.
Parang yan, parang Game of Thrones yan.
Alright, so speaking of the next phase of the NBA, we're going to the 10 new faces of PBA's 50 greatest of all time. So, in line with the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the PBA, magdadagdag sila ng 10 players para isama sa listahan ng pinakamagagaling na PBA players. At ito ang usap-usapan, dapat bang isama si Bong Hawkins dyan sa listahan ng 50 greatest PBA players? So, Bong Hawkins with 8 PBA championships, and syempre ang pinaka nagpo-push dyan para masama siya sa listahan ay walang iba kundi ang kanyang coach, former coach na si Coach Tim Cone. What do you guys think about this?
Papasok si Bong Hawkins pag pumasok si Nelson Asaitono. I said it. The godfather of the pro grip. It's common knowledge that Nelson Asaitono is overlooked for most awards. Best player of the conference, won back-to-back with San Miguel. Was the focal point of the Ron Jacobs squads in the late 90s with Coach Olsen and with the young Daniel Defon. So ako kasi, fan ako ng PBA during this time, and when I ask, ikaw Ira, napapangiti ka kasi you were just a...
Pero hindi ko pa napapanood yan. Kaya ikaw yung nakapanood.
Ako nakapanood kasi ako. Ito yung formative years ko being a fan of basketball. If I would want, babalikan natin, box office, if I want winning, na nanalo ng back-to-back championship sa Swift with Vergel Meneses, Rick Marata, Bonel Balingit, Gonzaldi Realubit, Kenneth Durandez, Commissioner Kenneth was with that squad too. May track record, and he was really good when he was with Pure Foods on that expansion squad kasama nila Alvin Patrimonio. Isipin mo paano mo didepensahan ko, Diniera, Patrimonio, Nelson Asaitono, Jojo Lastimosa, Bobby Jose. Ayaw, pero kasi amateur pa lang sila eh. Yun yung mga new kids on the block nun eh. Yung pag-akyat, yun yung favorite ko talaga. Pero mas favorite ko yung Red Bull nila Coach Willie. But that's a different topic for a different day. But for me, as a winner, he is a shoo-in. Make no mistake about it. He won a Grand Slam with Alaska in '96. He was the guy that galigo yung talon, gapiso yung jump shot, pero yung piso niya, piso-piso. Bagay sa triangle offense kasi si Kuya Pochwinyo was operating on the pinch post, si Bong Hawkins yung straight post, or si Jojo Lastimosa. So na ma-maximize yung Jeff Carriazo dapat kasama din dito. Best defender of that generation. Ang dami kong input when it comes to that, but again, if you're looking at the system that they were running in '96, that was the peak of their powers. Coach Johnny Barrientos was the MVP. Jojo Lastimosa was a fourth quarter assassin that closes the game out for them. Poch Vino was the defensive anchor, and they had the other Mr. 100%, Sean Chambers, as their import, and with Roel Gomez, Kevin Ramas, and all those guys, it was built to win. And they practically had a handful of coaches who were point guards in that team. Pati si Coach Jun Reyes, Kuya Jun Reyes, was the brother of Coach Shot. And Coach Shot was also part of that system sa Alaska. Ganun kalakas yung team. But going back to Bong Hawkins, was he a product of the system that maximizes talent? Or was he really a talented player by himself? Kasi when he moved on, it was the latter part of his career naman. When he was with Tanduay, I think he was with the Red Bull for some time. Kasi the latter stages na he never had an opportunity to carry his team the way that, let's say, Nelson Asaitona had when it was his turn in San Miguel. Pero ako, kung magpapasok sila ng forward from that generation, it should be either of the two. Either of the two. Pero ako, mas Nelson Asaitono kasi ako. I'm not campaigning for everyone. Both of them deserve to be part of those greatest players because they have production. But, ako, mas magne-Nelson Asaitono ako just for the mere fact that it's universally accepted that he is by far the most gifted basketball player na pure Pinoy na nag-enter sa PBA.
Must be hard to choose 10 players na papasok mo doon
Oo,
sa 50
tsaka daming
greatest,
pumipili.
no?
Ang daming pumipili niyan.
It's a 9-man selection. And pag doon pumapasok yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, yung phases of, next phase of NBA, ganun din yung mangyayari dito. Pagdating sa magpapapicture yung mga fans, kaninong mga PBA players magpapapicture yung mga fans, kanino sila magpapa-autograph, bibili ng jersey, susuot ng jersey. To answer your question kanina, pag nakita ka ng mga tao na nagmamotorsiklo, mga
Sino yung hihinto?
may jersey sila suot, Helter brand.
Oo, yung...
Kaya kasama siya sa list of 40 greatest players.
Well, ang hirap kasi yung sa jersey, number one, di naman ata nagbebenta yung PBA.
Tsaka lahat ng Pilipino may jersey.
Tsaka parang, ang
Kanya-kanyang gawa.
Sa observation ko, parang pag Hinebra lang yung may jersey. Wala naman ako nakikita ang
Mas marami mga champion, mga
Northport na
t-shirts,
jersey.
yung mga pinamimigay pagka halftime ng
Kahit
mga
sabihin mo ng MVP team, wala ngang mga naka-token. Nakikita ka ba na?
Wala
token
eh.
text na
Well,
jersey?
number one,
Meron ako Jason Castro. Get well, Abe, ah. Get well.
Bigyan niya sa'yo yun. Bigyan niya.
Siyempre.
parang ang mga Pinoy, kaya Hinebra, kasi mas yun talaga yung team na nakaka-connect yung fans eh.
Yeah.
Pero for the rest of the teams, I could not, maybe San Miguel, you could add it and
Yung San Miguel pang mga ano yun eh, pang mga oldies, pang mga team. Yun yung
But
ano nila eh.
you cannot,
San Miguel ba?
Oo, team of the 80s.
but as of the moment, you cannot like, for Filipino fans, parang ang hirap makapag-connect sa mga PBA teams. Not like San Beda, like yung mga UAP,
may eskwelahan ka, may para kang miyembro ng community.
Tapos pag sa NBA, makikita mo ang dami. LeBron James jersey, Kobe Bryant jersey, Michael Jordan jersey. Nakaka-connect yung mga fans eh. And right now, makikita natin yung lack of parity ng PBA. So parang in a way, and I don't think teams are making an effort on really connecting with the fans. So medyo mahirap yung nakikita mo kung sino yung may jersey. Ngayon, napapansin ko lahat, Hinebra lang talaga eh. Di ba? Pag Scottie Thompson, everything. So,
Scottie Thompson.
So to me, etong 50 greatest, I initially thought they should have waited kasi nag-40 sila noong 2015 eh. Personally for me, after nung 25 nung 2000, they should have waited.
50.
They should have waited for this 50. Kasi kasi parang masyadong mabilis yung 15 years, mas maganda yung 25 eh. Medyo generational yung generational yung 25 eh. Saka mas malaki yung pool mo to consider. Pero yung 15 for me, medyo minadali yan. So now, they have a 10-man selection panel na inappoint nila. You have 3 players, Ramon Fernandez, Alan Caidic, and Atoy Ko. Then you have Coach Dante Silverio, former PBA Commissioner Sunny Barrios, and then you have people from the media, Kinito Henson, Andy Howe.
Over the hill na yung mga pumipili. I'm so sorry, pero...
Andy Howe, Ding Marcelo, Al Mendoza, saka Nelson
Ibang generation
Beltran.
na yan eh. Ibang generation na yan.
So, malamang ang criteria nito,
yung mga napanood wag nila.
Pipili sila ng pipili sila ng tig 10 na players. Tig 10 na players. So, pero I think si Kinito Henson sa si Andy Howe is fine kasi they've been covering the PBA for
Yan
so
dalawa talaga ang dapat.
Pero yung ibang mga oldies wala na
kasi unang-una sa lahat, if you're a coach and if you're observing the new trend of basketball, syempre you are predisposed to think na hindi ganito yung nilalaro, ito yung mga ganyan. Are we looking at sheer numbers? Diba? Are we looking at the marketing effect?
dapat medyo may mix ng mas bata.
Are we looking at the storylines? Kasi if you're media, you're looking at, sino ba yung pinag-uusapan ng taon na yun? Pero ako, isa lang yung sure ball na shoe-in dyan, Junmar Fajardo. Junmar Fajardo.
Ako,
Scotty
L.A. Tenorio.
Scotty Thompson
L.A.
should be
Tenorio.
there. No, L.A.
L.A.
of
Tenorio
course.
to me.
Pero
Ilan na
kasi
yung
bago
Si
ako
Scotty-
mag-LA, mag-Olsen Racela muna ako eh. Parang yung kung titignan mo, by well, personal picks ko yun. Pero again, forwards, Nelson Asaytono and the Bong Hawkins might be a toss-up for that generation. And then for the latter generation, syempre paglalaban ko yung isa sa mga idol ko, Rudy Hatfield. Lahat ng team na nilaruan, walang shooting, walang post moves, lahat naging contender.
And personally for me, I never grew up watching Bong Hawkins, Nelson Asaytono kasi I started watching the PBA 2002. I was in grade 5. My friend, naabutan ko yung Lamonstrators pa yung import ng the helicopter.
Helicopter.
Di ba yung 360 na dunk? Pero in support of what Coach Hammer is saying, we never had the alleged farm teams and sister teams back then.
Bakbakan yun, Brad. Bakbakan
Diba?
talaga.
Kasi ngayon, jacked up yung stats mo eh. Like, kasi you know who's winning.
At saka,
you already know who's winning. Nung time na yun, wala pa yung
Brad.
alleged farm teams na nagpa-fund ng mga players papunta dun sa mga sister teams.
Parang 8 lang yung teams.
So to me, you have to give much more heavy consideration to the teams back in the prior to year 2000 kasi yung itong generation, it's dominated, hindi mo matetest yung kung gaano talaga kagaling yung mga players sa sister teams na nananalo ng maraming championships kasi they never really face good competition until they get to the finals or semifinals.
Saka Brad, purong Pinoy ang mga yan. Puro talaga, walang halo.
Wala pang import.
Tsaka, pag
Exactly.
Wala pang mga
kasi
fill-up.
iba kasi talaga iba yung bone density, iba yung genetics ng mga yan. But again, that's a different topic for a different day. But again, pag hindi ka nanood ng PBA dati, kahit na anong araw, ang laro pa dati noon, Linggo, Biyernes, at saka Tuesday. 3 game days lang. Kasi wala lang yung team eh. Pag hindi ka nanood, yari ka sa recess. Kasi hindi ka kasali sa kwentuhan. Kaya ang Hinebra no nilalagay ng Friday at saka ng Sunday kasi pagka Lunes, kailangan ready ka sa yabangan.
Sa kwentuhan, napanood
Saka
mo.
Brad, walang highlight. Ito na lang, walang highlight na napasigaw yung commentator. Sus Mariosep, anong tira yun? Nelson Asaytono lang. Tapos Brad, dinakdakan ng 180 si Jericho Diniera, tapos sinalpakan ng one hand si Alvin Patrimonio, tapos tinuro pa niya.
Hindi ka nakunin sa kwentuhan nun, no?
Brad, hindi ako mauni sa kwentuhan kasi syempre, iba yan eh.
Yan ang
Sports
aabangan natin na pag na-select na nga yung 10 na idadagdag dyan sa 50, malamang ang daming reactions
Oo,
dyan.
i-follow nyo
Yan,
ako sa
for
Facebook,
sure.
tsaka sa
Aabangan
X.
natin yung mga reactions ng mga tao dyan. Siyempre, may mga magrereklamo, may mga matutuwa.
To me, you have to give consideration to the ones that competed in an era wherein there were no alleged farm teams.
Oo, yun talaga. Yan, yung
Kasi
late
ang
80s.
jack ng mga teams
Brad,
ng-
late 80s to 2000s hanggang pagpasok ng Red Bull. Yan yung pinaka, I think the most talent that we had, the most parity, and the most independent teams. Yan talaga. Dahil sila, yung Ginebra at saka Tokyo Tex, dun pa lang nagbabakbakan na yan. Pati San Miguel, nakikipagbakbakan na rin yan.
And for consideration, baka pwede mong ipasok yung Justin Brown.
Brad, may Dennis Espino po. Yung Espino winner eh.
Aabangan natin kung sino yung mga 10 ilalagay nila dyan. Dahil sa
Or
award
pwedeng
niya.
pwedeng magpasok sila nung pang-import na conversation.
At saka
Category.
since maganda yung mga kwentuhan natin, Prod Guy, ipasok mo na rin yan sa ating mga sa ating...
Sino?
Si Prod
Sa
Guy,
import?
ipasok mo sa segment natin kung sino ba yan hanggang sa mag-i-announce yan. Kasi I bet si Juan, si si Ael, si Renren, si Willie, marami rin mga inputs yan yung mga nakalaban nila.
Oo.
Abangan natin yan sa darating na April 9.
Si Willie,
Malalaman na
Coach
natin.
Willie, mas sa si Coach Ren.
Oo, inabutan niya yung inabutan niya yung 2,000 na talaga.
Tsaka yung tatay nila,
Tatay nito.
Nila Juan. Oh, tatay.
Oh, ayun, Coach Vic, alam ko nanonood ka. Sino mo mas mahirap depensahan? Si Nelson Asaytono
O si Bong.
o si Bong Hawkins? Pakipa-video
Nelson Asaytono, alam ko yan.
Ipa-video nyo kay Ira, tapos isa nyo sa akin.
Palagi niyang binabanggit sa akin si Nelson Asaytono.
Pero tingin ko makakapasok naman na si Nelson ngayon.
Sana.
So paano kung hindi napasok?
Magrarally ako sa harap ng UN.
Magre-react siya yung magpo-post
Magrarally
sa
ako
Facebook.
Punta ka ng PBA game.
Hindi, pupunta ako sa UM. Kung saan siya naglaro, magsasot ako ng yellow-green. Dahil pre-Nelson Asaytono, kailangan 50 greatest.
Alright, so abangan natin kung sino yung mga 10 idadagdag sa 50 greatest players of all time. That's going to happen on April 9
Invested ako,
for
Ari.
the 50th anniversary of the PBA. Alright, so speaking of mga papasok sa 50 greatest, sino naman yung papasok sa ating top February picks tally board? So dito sa SPNation, we keep a tally of our analysts when it comes to their SPN expert picks. So kikilalanin na natin kung sino nga ba ang pinakamagaling pumili sa mga teams na maglalaban sa NBA. Ilabas na natin, ayan na!
Tumingiti?
Number 1
Bakit lahat kami
on the
nakasombrero?
list.
Kailangan may picture din si Coach Rende na nakasombrero, ha?
Ayan na ang record. With a 4-3 win-loss record, 57% accurate picks. Walang iba kundi si Coach.
Konti yung natapat na games. Napakahirap po ng preparation namin dito. Talagang ginawa namin yung sinasabi ni Coach. Go hard lang kami. Tsaka follow the game plan. Yung sinabi.
Siyempre, meron kang certificate. Inandaya ng SPNation. Certificate of Recognition. This certificate is proudly presented to Coach Hammer Martin Antonio in recognition of his excellency as the sharpest predictor, best sports betting expert for the month of February
Gusto ko yung may pirma.
2025.
Oh, and of course, just like my idol Rudy Hatfield, I want to thank myself for doing the picks and getting the
Alam
predictions
ko yung
right.
interview na yun.
Oo, I want to thank myself.
Ay,
Print ko na, lalagay ko to sa weights room ko, ha. Tatawa ka
si
dito.
Rudy Hatfield yun.
Brad Bombero na.
Sa US.
Sa US, yun yung huling balita sa akin. Kasi,
Laki na ng kinikitan.
naglalaro kami bago, kakampi ko dapat si Ranidel. I was in second year high school. Side kwento. Practice sila ng Coca-Cola. Hinahagis yung jersey sa gilid. Ay, akala ko, arborin ko na, kinuha namin ng teammate ko. Galit na galit. Galit na galit na hanap yung practice jersey. Gagamitin pa pala. Akala ko, sasapakin ako. Kaya, mula nun, sabi ko, kailangan ko mag-weights parati. Baka pag nakita ko ni Rudy Hatfield, gulpihin ako eh. But, of course, one of my idols and one of my favorites, and I want to thank again, myself for this, wait. Tama, meron pang birma ni
Ano
Kyle.
ba yung
Sorry,
nickname
CJ.
ulit ni...
H-bomb!
The H-bomb. The H-bomb.
Looking at the tally board,
Dikit lang
Coach Willie, 1-5. Ano ba yan, Coach Willie?
Si Happy napadaan lang eh. Ginawang
Pero
analyst
in fairness, dalawa pa lang yung ano niya.
Hindi kasi nga, si Happy host eh. Ginawang analyst on that day. Natapas pa.
Si Coach Willie talaga yung pinaka-ano
Oo,
dyan
eh.
eh. Coach Willie!
Busy kasi, NC season eh. Oy,
Sabagay, hindi siya nakakanood
games
masyado.
tomorrow, may games sila si Coach Ren.
Parang may player siyang na-injured sa tuhod.
Oo, na kanina get well soon.
ACL ba?
Hindi ko alam kung ano eh.
The Banal Brothers, talagang tayo na tayo talaga,
Oo.
55%.
Exchanging notes yun eh.
Parang nag-uusap lang silang dalawa kung anong ano. Alright. Now, maradagdagan na yan. Magpapalit na yung numbers natin ng ating win-loss record because we're going to our last segment for this episode, our SPN Expert Picks. So, we are going to pick three games that's going to play tomorrow, and we're going to predict what would be the possible outcome of those 3 games. So first up, we have Atlanta Hawks going against the Memphis Grizzlies. That's happening at 9 o'clock. Which team is gonna get this one?
Well, ako, Memphis ako dito kasi sore shoulder Ja Morant, but a lot of players are out for Atlanta. Tapos may iniinda sa Achilles tendon si Trae Young. That's been bothering him. I think it's tendinitis for the past few games. And there are game time decisions, both of them. And Memphis is trying to make a playoff run. They want to secure a slot na hindi sila kailangan dumaan dun sa extra ticket sa dulo na 7 and 8 seed. So I'm picking Memphis on this game.
Ako same, Memphis. But both of these teams are going into this matchup. They're both on a 2-game losing streak. And this is their second meeting of the season. The first meeting, tinabakan ng Memphis yung Atlanta ng 16 points. During that game, Ja Morant didn't play for Memphis. And then for Atlanta, Okongwu and Trae Young didn't play for Atlanta Hawks. Memphis at home is 22-8. Atlanta on the road is 14-18. And going into this second half of the season, wala na si Jalen Johnson. He's out for the season. They traded away DeAndre Hunter to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, makita mo dito na parang, I think, Atlanta is looking forward to the next season na. Medyo mahirap to win with the pieces that they have right now. Memphis versus below 500 teams is 25-4.
They take care of business.
They take care of business. Atlanta versus above 500 teams, they're 12-21. Tama si Coach Hammer, maraming injured dito sa Cleveland Cavaliers. Apart from Jalen Johnson, Larry Nance Jr. is out with a femoral fracture. Then Georges Niang is out with an illness. Trae Young is probable with a right Achilles tendinitis. And for Memphis, Ja Morant is questionable with a right shoulder soreness. So, but I'm picking Memphis here. Home court pa nila.
Also happening at 9 o'clock, the Houston Rockets will go up against the OKC Thunder. So who do you guys think will get this
Alam mo,
one?
dito conflicted ako. Conflicted ako sa game na to. Kasi,
Malakas din ang Houston eh.
oo, kasi
Malakas din
Houston, tapos split sila ng season na sige, pero hindi ko talaga gusto pero hindi ko talaga gusto maglaro si Jalen Green. Parang gumugulo yung team nila pagkahawak niya yung bola.
Parang trigger happy din eh, no?
Oo, bro, ito yung mga matitrade sa Charlotte eh. Ito yung mga ganitong player para makakuha ka na.
Pero gusto ko yung coach ng ano.
Oo, Ime Udoka talaga.
Solid si Ime.
Kaya nga naging all-star si Shangun kasi maganda yung numero tapos mga solid yung mga players na they're 12 deep. But big win for the OKC Thunder the past few games. Iffy yung performance nila their past 10 games, but for the most part, their defense has been consistent. And that's what makes them a very... they're one of the top 3 teams in the West, if I may say, nalalabas. Pero pag natapat kasi sila sa...
Sino Houston?
Itong
OKC.
Pag natapat kasi sila sa Denver, may tulog sila eh. Ako tingin ko laking bagay nung...
Which might happen not in the first round.
Oh, it's the second round.
Second round.
Oo, pero ako, I'll be picking OKC in the game. Dahil season series nila split, I think OKC needs to get more wins just to have a firmer hold on that number 1 spot. Ayun, they might be the first team to 50 wins no? They might be.
Hindi. Cleveland is
50 now. So,
pero sa West, pero tingin ko medyo sure na sila sa number 1 seed. Medyo mahirap nang humabol kasi the next team
20 plus na rin yun.
21 na yung talo ng Lakers eh. So para for them, OKC is not losing games right now and they're continuously winning games. Ang only advantage that I see for Houston in this game is OKC is playing on a back-to-back, second night of a back-to-back. Houston is not on a back-to-back, on a second night of a back-to-back. So, yun yung nakita ko advantage. But I still see OKC winning this game because number 1, it's their home court. They're 25-4 at home. Houston on the road is 17-13. OKC against above 500 teams is 21-11. Houston versus above 500 teams is 21-16. This is gonna be their 4th meeting. Their first meeting, panalo OKC 126-107 back in November. They had 2 matchups back in December. Houston won the second meeting noong December 2, 119-116. December 15, OKC won. So 111-96. So 2-1 ang win-loss record ng OKC sa
split
Houston.
sila past 2 games.
So if OKC wins this, then 3-1 sila for the season. Now kaya mas ano pa ako dito kasi ang daming injuries ng Houston. Dylan Brooks is questionable with the right knee contusion. Tariq Eason is questionable with the left lower leg injury management. Alperen Sengun is questionable with the lower back soreness. Amin Thompson is questionable with the right shoulder soreness. Fred VanVleet is out with the right ankle sprain. Ang questionable lang kay OKC is Chet Holmgren, who is did not play siya today against San Antonio where they won, and no announcement of his status yet as of the moment. But even if Chet doesn't play in this game, I still see may SGA ka, may Jalen Williams ka, may Lu Dort ka.
The defense would still be there.
Nandun pa rin so may Kayson Wallace ka, so
Loaded, no? Loaded na team na bata.
Saka yung yung player ng Lakers dati, yung defensive-minded
Caruso?
Si Caruso, may Alex Caruso ka pa. So, I see OKC winning this game.
For the third game, that's happening at 9:30, Sacramento Kings going up against the Dallas Mavericks.
Kung may team na sobrang injured, etong Dallas Mavericks. 7 player sa rotation na injured. So it's an easy pick for me. I mean, Sabonis will be missing this game, but Sacramento looks like they need to take care of business. They're at an advantage here with Dallas having a shorter rotation. Ang daming injured. Walang big man yung Dallas eh. So, hindi naman 5 Kyrie Irving yung kalaban mo. So, medyo mas liamado Sacramento rito. The records are nearly identical, but I'm picking the Kings on this matchup just because injuries and Zach LaVine is doing a little bit better now. Sanay siya maglaro with DeMar DeRozan. So, we'll see dahil Sacramento wants to make the playoffs din.
Same ako kay Coach Hammer, Sacramento Kings din ako dito. On paper, you would go for Dallas, but right now, I mean, Sabonis is out nga with the left hamstring soreness. Pero on the part of, wala yung big man ng Sacramento, wala rin lahat ng big man ng
7 player.
Lahat ng big man, Anthony Davis is out. Lahat ng center nila, Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, PJ Washington is also out with the right ankle sprain. And if you were gonna take a look at the lineup of the Sacramento Kings, who is backing up the Montas Sabonis, it is actually Jonas Valanciunas. So, walang panapatang Dallas doon. May Jonas Valanciunas. And I feel like Sacramento has been playing well under Coach Doug Christie. So, this is going to be their third and last meeting of the season. Panalo parehas ang Sacramento. The first meeting was at Sacramento, 110-100, pero walang Luka, Kyrie, Lively, Clay, pero wala ka ng Luka ngayon. Second meeting was Feb 11, Sacramento winning over Dallas in overtime, 129-128. Walang AD, walang Lively, walang Washington. So, given nga wala kang mga pyesa ngayon, I see Sacramento pulling this off.
Alright, so those are our SPN expert picks for tomorrow's game. Because we are live on Facebook and on TikTok, please don't forget to follow us at SportsPlusPH. We are going to read some of the comments that you guys gave us for this episode. Ayan, he doesn't want any responsibility. Laro, pera at uwi lang gusto ni Ant. Grabe rin pressure to be the face of the NBA. Lahat ng galaw mo nasa balita. That's true.
Oo, kasi pinopost mo din.
Oo.
Pagka-post ka ng post, yari ka. Yun yung part ng Jordan Mystique. Tsaka ng Kobe Mystique na parang may ginagawa sila pero si Kobe control niya yung narrative. Si Jordan, wala pa kasing social media. Diba? So si LeBron, siya yung generation na everything that he does gets talked about by everyone. So that's a mistake. Gusto rin siguro ni Ant Davis sa privacy. So.
Pero tingin ko, like, even if he doesn't want to be the next face of the NBA, or if anyone doesn't want to be, if you're a great player, if you don't want, kung ayaw mo maging next face ng NBA, it comes with the price eh. Even if you don't want it, if you're really good at your craft, whatever industry that is, whether it be basketball, whether it be American football, like Patrick Mahomes, you will get criticisms. Mas magnified lahat ng galaw mo eh. That's part of being really really good or being great at your craft. So, whether you like it or not, kung gusto talaga ni Ant is to, di ba sinabi niya yun, I just want to play basketball and kill the opponent. So, ang goal mo is to be the best player you can be. So, it comes with the price. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na gusto mo magaling, pero you cannot be criticized.
Pero he's not gonna be flashy. Hindi siya yung mag-creating noise online and stuff like that.
Nagawa na rin yan eh.
Si LeBron, flashy player din siya eh. Meron pa siya ng chalk. Ano yung ginagawa niya?
Yung
Ng powder.
pre-game. Pero nagawa na yan eh. Yung gusto lang pumunta, time in, laro, manalo, cash in ang pera, Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, yeah.
Di ba? Hindi natin pinag-uusapan.
Oo.
Finals MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, universally understood as one of the best perimeter players and one of the stealthiest assassins.
Pero medyo he fell off the map because of the injuries.
He got injured, he won 2 championships, but he got something better than the John Wall textbook, which is getting absolutely paid on every stop that he went. And people hate him, but he doesn't give it.
Sino, John Wall?
Si Kawhi. Di ba? Yung mga...
John Wall got paid also.
Oh, John Wall got
Parang
paid.
Bradley Beal.
Oh, 40 games na ngayon nilaruin.
Si Bradley Beal.
Diba? Get paid. Yun lang naman yan eh.
Tama.
Again, hindi po yan barkadahan. Professional po sila. So kung babayaran ka for your name and image, so be it. And then, if they want to play, they want to play. Buti nga ngayon, may load management na eh. Di ba? Yung mga generation dati, nagagalit pag di naglalaro eh. Kung ginawa nyo rin yun nung panahon yun, hindi kayo nagagalit.
Tama. Okay, punta tayo sa next comment natin. Nope, hindi si Ant. Si Luka yan since nasa Lakers na siya.
Agree?
You can make an argument, yes.
Agree? Ako, I would definitely agree. Sa Pilipinas, dalawa lang yung team na sinusundan natin. Lakers sa Golden State. Oo, yung
Uy,
dalawang team na yan eh.
Magtatapat
Kung
sila
nasa
sa
si LeBron din.
Filipino Heritage
April.
Filipino Heritage
Sa
Night.
April magtatapat ang... Chinek ko eh.
Filipino Heritage Night. yan
Ako
sa-
nga, napapanood na nga ako ng mga Laker games ngayon. Halos lahat eh. Panalo pa kanina sa Clippers. Back to back.
Yan lang, yan talaga eh. Team ng Pilipinas yan.
Or kung nasan si LeBron din.
oh.
Heat, Miami.
Well, yun nga. Well, your teammate, number one, kaya si Luka is masasabi, agree ako kay Chester Ala, kasi number one, yung current face of the NBA right now is your teammate. And then you're playing for one of the most storied franchises, the franchise with the second most NBA championships. And they are in the number 2 media market, only behind New York. Number 1 kasi ang New York ay, when it comes to media market. Number 2 dyan ang Los Angeles. So, you're playing in that market, you get more exposure, you're playing for one of the most storied franchises in the NBA. And you're a hell of a player. May pogi ka pa. Pogi ka pa, di ba?
Pwede ka ba owning sponsored ng Budweiser?
Di ba? Pogi ka pa, swabe, di ba? Hindi ka athletic, hindi ka batak, pero pogi ka, di ba?
Ang player, hindi naman bagay, hindi naman Mr. Universe yan eh.
Oo.
Hindi naman Arnold Classic, hindi naman IBFF yung pinaglalabanan eh. Pagalingan naman mag-basketball.
Saka
eh.
yung galaw ni Luka, ano talaga eh, like pang star talaga eh, like someone you would watch. Kasi ang galing niya mag one-on-one, tapos ang swabe.
Tsaka Brad, pag tumakbo, parang takbong araneta, lumulutang eh. Lumulutang, tsaka pag nakashoot, pag bumakpedan, Brad, parang takbong moa, tsaka araneta eh. Di ba? Takbong crypto, arena na pa.
And they're winning right now.
Yeah.
So,
The most important thing.
yun ang importante dyan.
Okay, let's go to our next comment. Kung championships lang ang pag-uusapan,
Tama!
bakit di natin isama si Chris Jumbo?
Oh, God rest his soul.
Bola, the 11-time PBA champion. Kung nasan siya, andon ang swerte.
Agree. Super agree. Pati yung championship ng Red Bull, nando doon si Chris Bulado. Yan talaga. Yun, championship eh. I think 7 o 8 rin sa Alaska. Tapos meron siya
Kilala mo
sa
ba
Red
yan?
Bull.
Hindi ko na
Wala,
naabutan
he passed away when he was, I think, nasa outside the country, passed away, had cardiac arrest. But kaya ano siya, Lucky Bulado yung tawag, favorite niya nila God rest his soul, nila Ed Pixel.
Ayun, parang ni Donis Haslim, ganyan.
Brad, 6'7", 260 pounds. Alam mo sino kakampi niya? Sino inabutan niya? Si Nelson Asaitono!
Grabe, next pala siya kay Jude Vance sa 12. all-time most
role
championship.
player to,
So,
Brad.
kasama ko si Chris Bolado. Sama mo na si Raymond Aguilar.
Brad, hindi!
Raymond
Brad,
Aguilar.
hindi. Pero si Chris Bulado kasi kasama sa rotation. Pag nilabas si Pochuino, siya yung papasok. Siya yung pagka-Commissioner's Cup, 6'6" pataas yung import. siya yung taga-bantay. Tapos Brad, 6'7", 6'6", na malapad. Pre, pag pinanood mo, tapos pag binigyan ng bola sa ilalim, pag hinawakan niya ng kaliwang kamay, pre, isasalpak. Pinoy Pinoy. Pag diet, 3 rice. Kasi
So,
yung
isasama mo siya sa 50.
Bro.
Isasama mo siya sa
Kung championships lang
Kung
daw ang
championships na yung pag-uusapan, Brad, kasama yan. Siyempre, kahit sinong coach.
Sino ba pinakamaraming player? Si Joe?
Joe, 12
Joe, 12.
championships.
O, di ba?
Hindi, pero kung 11, edi si Rafi
Edi, pasok
Rivas
na rin.
din yan.
Oo, parang ganun. Yun nga, role player. Pero role
Ilan na
player.
championships ni Rafi?
11.
Pero Brad, pati Interbarangay, hindi counted dyan. Na-imbitahan pa yun sa mga ganun. Pero kidding aside, I mean, Chris Bulado was really generation ko kasi kaya nag-enjoy akong pag-usapan. So, kahit yung mga barkada ko noong high school, ito yung mga pinag-uusapan namin.
Well, depende yan sa criteria ng selection
Oo.
panel. Kasi may kanya-kanya yan eh. I'm pretty sure...
Kasi pag si...
I'm pretty sure ang malaking chance, magboboto yun ng tig-10.
Oo, yun talaga.
Boboto sila ng 10. Parang may may criteria paano makapasok yung player. Tapos from the list of the players, boboto yun ng 10 lang.
Sino ang pinakamaraming
Ramon Fernandez.
19.
19.
Saka yung dami kasi nilaruan eh.
Pero
Nag-champion
pasok na sa top 25.
Presidente yun eh.
So,
May boto na nga siya ng mga
so yan,
kasali sa
nakikita ko,
tropa eh.
meron silang parang listahan na kung sino yung qualified.
Shortlist.
Shortlisted, tapos pagbobotohan ng 10 yan.
So nasa ito, ano?
Pero
mas
based sa panel, mukhang pasok si Nelson.
Dapat lang.
Mas
Kasi,
mabigat, pero kasi yung MVP kaysa championship.
nasilat lang siya kasi dumating, I think, ang best case niya to win MVP was 97, the fourth one of Alvin Patrimonio. Because when Pure Foods become the Corned Beef Cowboys ba sila, tama, Prod Guy, yung pumasok sila sa Commissioner's Cup Finals, yun yung nag-tip ng scales. Inaantay nila mag-champion yung Ginebra, nag-champion, Governor's Cup, Gordon's Gin na sila. Pero statistically, that was the best year of Nelson Asaytono. And then, nung following year, dumating na si Danny Ildefonso. 97 yun, rookie year ni Ildefonso. Tapos, 97 ba o 98? Tapos 99-2000 si Danny ay na yung MVP. Kasi si Romel Aducol na dapat sila yung mag-usher in nung new generation ng PBA, naglaro sa NBA. Kasi sila talaga yung magkalaban ng bakbakan neck to neck ng college. And then, dumating na yung mga paborito ko, yung mga Phil-Ab. So, nung dumating na sila, Eric May, si Asi Taulaba, John Ordonio, Danny Sigel, yung apat na yung direct hire. Tapos si Sunny Alvarado na Pilipino pa sa pinaka-Pilipinong nakilala ko. So, sila yung dumating. Si Al Segova, yung batch na yun.
Hindi pa kasama si Davon doon.
Kasama siya direct hire. Kasi naglaro na si Davon Harp sa Red Bull. Pag-akyat ng Tanduay sa Red Bull, tama ba, Prod Guys? Sabay sila umakyat nun. So, nauna ang Red Bull. Tapos yung Tanduay, si Coach Chuwari, Coach Al Francis was the head coach. Lakas ng team na yun. So, doon na nagbago yung trend. Tapos dumating si Juan Johnson, tsaka yung pinaka-Pilipino rin, si Rob Parker. So, nagkaroon pa ng Senate hearing dyan. Pero, different subject for a different day. But, again, if winning, counted yan. But if it's overall appeal for the league, their effect as a statesman for the league, winning and production, marami pa tayong pwede.
Actually nga si Carmelo and Dame is part of the NBA 75 eh.
Si Melo, pwede. Si Dame, hindi ko alam paano naboto yun eh. Dahil Dame time.
Parang kasama siya eh.
Oo, kasama siya doon sa 75.
Si Dame.
Sige, punta tayo dun sa last
Nakahype ako.
Dwight is also part of the...
Dwight should be kasi apat yung defensive player of the year niya, di ba?
Okay, punta tayo sa last comment natin.
Nakahype ako eh.
Pwede isama yan. Alisin mo na yung mga active player.
Dito, kontra ako dito.
Ako, if they can be considered, even if they're playing, pero ang laki na ng impact nila sa team nila, sa yung career stats nila, how they perform, box office, winning. I think you can consider them. You can already consider them.
Paano mo hihindihan si Junmar? Paano mo hihindihan si Jason Castro?
Ang Hall of Fame kasi, kaya inaantay mag-retire, ano lang to is hindi pa kasi tapos yung career eh. They're still piling up the statistics, the awards, kaya inaantay yung Hall of Fame pag nag-retire na. Pero yung greatest players, I would say you can consider them already if their resume can put themselves already in that in
Yeah.
that spotlight.
Eye test lang eh. Eye test lang pag tinignan mo sino ba yung pagka tinignan mo yung Alvin Patrimonio, parang lumulutang yung jersey. 'Di ba? Ako yun yung first ko na napanood na rin. Nakita ko si Alvin Patrimonio, parang grabe, Berhel Meneses. Nung
Uy, nakita ko lang si Alvin Patrimonio 3 Saturdays ago. Nakita ko lang siya, tapos
Fun guy. Ano naman yun eh. Ako ilang beses ko na. Ako na-amaze pa rin ako na we are so blessed with our jobs that we are able to talk to legends. Ako, lagi ko niloloko sila Rudy Distrito, sila dyan. Lalo na si Kuya Rodney Santos kasi pinapanood ko siya nung college. Sabi
Iba
ko,
yung starstruck
oh,
pag-
wait. Nung unang coverage ko, kasama ko si Coach JB Gerso, hindi ako makapagsalita eh. Pero 30 seconds lang naman po yun. Nung na-ice break na okay na.
Okay na.
Niyayari ko na rin sa Daddy's Angel eh. Daddy's Angel. Pero kailangan yung mga pinakamagagaling talaga. Yung mga greatest. Hindi pwede yung magaling lang. Kailangan yung pinakamagagaling. Hindi pwede yung mga team pakiusap. Kasi yan mga yan lahat umakit na ng PBA. Pero pagka nag-usap na yung mga yan,
Pero that's always been the case if lalo na 10 lang yung yung panel mo, parang meron pa ring objectivity yan eh. Ay, may subjectivity, hindi siya objective eh. So, may chance talaga na may bias, 'di ba? Or something like that.
Sorry.
Probably yung usually sa ganito may mali-left out pa rin talaga.
lagi.
Yeah, make sure you guys aren't left out. Don't forget to give us a follow at Sports Plus PH on Facebook and on TikTok.
Sino ba yung team pakiusap mo, coach?
Huwag na natin pangalanan.
Wala.
Doon sa 40.
Wala, lahat yan greatest eh.
Hindi,
Wala kang
doon sa 40.
Wala kang contention dyan. Wala kang mako-content dyan. Basta ang contention ko lang, dapat nung una pa lang, doon sa 25 kasama na si Nelson na Saito.
Paano ba yung pakiusap? Like, sasabihin mo,
Hindi, yung
boto mo,
mga,
ganun ba yun?
parang panliligaw yan eh. Yung mga nililigawan mo yung pamilya, okay na yan, pre. Pasok na yan, pre. Di ba? Yung mga ganun. Ako, wala akong yan. Pero pagka greatest of the best, kailangan, ikaw talaga yung standout at your position. You should be considered as, for a prolonged period of time, you are the top player in that position.
Ayan, ang dami natin pag-usapan sa episode na
Oo,
to na
kasi-
best of the best. Pinag-usapan natin kung ito na ba yung
But
best Cavs team.
If there would be modern players that would be going in for this one, may bias talaga sa mga MVP, SMC players.
Dapat naman kasi yung mga player na magagaling yung pumasok. Ako, hanggang doon na lang kasi may next Monday pa ako. Tatago ko yung mga bala kasi nakita na nila hype ako eh. Baka susunod yung isa pang idol ko si Bong Alvarez.
Well, napag-usapan natin sa episode to lahat ng mga best of the best. Pinag-usapan natin yung best Cavaliers team. Sa NBA, we also talked about the face of the NBA and we also talked about the best 50 PBA players na pwedeng makasama dyan sa listahan coming April 9th. So guys, thank you so much for joining us in today's episode. If you guys are ready to elevate your sports experience, then let's dive into the world of live sports like never before with Sports Plus PH. Whether you guys are a diehard fan or you just simply love the thrill of the game, we've got you guys covered. So don't forget to register at Sports Plus PH. Once again, my name is Ira Pablo. Thank you so much for joining us in today's episode of SPNation Season 3. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Dami na
Hyped ako.